My name is Yuki Tsubota, I'm 22 years old, and I've been skiing for the Canadian national slopestyle team for 4 years. I'm from Whistler, BC. Growing up in Whistler, I mean, we're all kind of forced into skiing, and it's just what everybody does. So I've been skiing since I was about 3 years old. And when I was around 10 years old, I got into Blackcomb Freestyle Ski Club. I was still playing hockey. It was between hockey and skiing at that time. And I did that for about 2 years, and it just became too much. You know, I was doing hockey on Saturdays and skiing on Sundays, so I had to make a decision. So I ended up going with skiing. I was focused into mogul skiing for about 6 years. I did big air on the side, but I was more into mogul skiing, and I started skiing competitively on the BC team, and I made the Canadian Sports Center Pacific team. Did that for about 2 months and realized that mogul skiing was not what I wanted to do, and that was the same spring that slopestyle skiing was announced at the Olympics. I just lost the interest in moguls and made the switch over. Mike Shaw, who was the park and pipe coach at the time, let me just come into the program. You know, I had enough points to get in there, but he just took me in, and I had a really successful season that year and made the national team the next year. Yeah, it happened so fast. It was crazy.
It's crazy. We're always on the road, we're always in airports, we're always in and out of planes, different connections, running to make connections, rental cars. We're always, it's a little bit tiring. We're always on the go, but we've got a good group of people and we always enjoy and make it fun.
The bonds that are formed in the crucible that is the road are ones that will last a lifetime.
I think a lot of people see national teams in such an individual sport as, I guess maybe it doesn't make sense, but traveling with my friends and traveling with the coaches and taking all these long flights with friends, it makes it a lot easier to do these contests and keep all of us motivated.
Yeah, Mammoth always has a huge course. Oh, that was a long week. It's not the first time it's happened. I postponed maybe 3 or 4 days. They had to run snowboarding too and the pipe event.
Now, weather is a factor in all outdoor sports, but in freestyle skiing, a good day can abruptly change into a bad one with little warning.
The weather always at Mammoth is hard to predict. So the first day of training, we really noticed that the pipe was not in good shape. The weather wasn't permitting us to really train anything. It was too windy to do any big tricks. So that was a little bit difficult. And then they fixed the pipe a little bit for our second day of training, and some of us got some good training in.
Because a slight headwind can be the difference between making it to the landing of a jump perfectly and making a trip to the hospital, there are bound to be weather delays. Luckily, this time around, the weather in Mammoth managed to clear periodically. With a small break in the weather for half-pipe training, the team brings all of their bottled-up energy to the course and gets after it.
Do a lot better when the weather's not that great. I mean, I'm pretty good at determining the speed coming into jumps, and I think that's one of my advantages.
contest to happen, and girls got to run through one run, and unfortunately I fell, and so I ended up in last place after that first run. And then we were supposed to go up for our second runs, but the wind came in and the weather came in and they couldn't run our second run, so we all tried to wait it out, and they were saying that they were gonna just run men's first run and then see if we could get second runs in. And so Noah qualified, I think, 11th out of 12, and so he got a run, and then the weather came in, and so they didn't count that run. So then we all waited again, and then the weather kind of cleared, and then they went for another run, and only 3 or 4 people went through, and Noah did his run again, and then the weather came in and they didn't count that run again, and I think they did that 3 or 4 times. And so it's really hard to predict the weather, and it's hard to run a contest in bad weather, and sometimes it really sucks and you get the short end of the stick, and we didn't end up being able to run a second run, and so I ended up essentially in the last spot in finals.
Luckily for the slopestyle riders, on the other hand, fortune was on their side, and the weather held out for the likes of Evan McEachran, Nikki Blackall, Alex Belmar, Kim Lamar, and Yuki Tsubota.
Probably 2 weeks prior to the event, I learned some new tricks on rails, and I think that really came to my advantage. I did that on the first trail, and I had something to do on every feature. And for the jumps, I went with safety tricks, you know, things I knew I could land and do really clean, and came out on top. It was my first podium and my first place. My goal ever since I was a kid has been to go to the Olympics. Like I said before, it happened so quick, and I ended up qualifying for the games, and it was the most amazing experience I've ever had. The outcome wasn't what I wanted it to, but it still was a great experience representing the country. You know, hopefully being on the podium, and I want it more and more now.